Okay, let's do this thing. NXT review. Championship Tuesday, I believe this is tonight. So, yeah, 3 title matches on the line. The North American title, the women's title, and now the vacant NXT tag team titles, which I'll get to that in a few minutes when we get to it. But we kick it off right off the bat with the North American Championship on the line. Cameron Grimes versus Solo Sikoa. I enjoyed this match. This is a pretty good match. Not bad at all. And whatnot. I did like when Grimes had told Solo, like, I respect you, but your bloodline can kiss my grits and everything. But a very good match, though. Basically, it ended up with Trick Williams coming out there, distracting Solo. Solo took him out, but when he got back in the ring, Grimes hit him with his cave-in, and Grimes retained the title. But right after, Carmelo Hayes basically attacked Grimes, then and him and Trick Williams ended up jumping him as they held the title up, and then basically left him in the ring after that. So very good match in general between Sikoa and Grimes. Sikoa was protected here, given the interference and stuff by Trick Williams, the whole distraction and whatnot. So this was very good, and I guess Carmelo now finally going back for his rematch for the North American Championship against Cameron Grimes. So we'll see what happens with that, but I believe that rematch should be soon. As they talk about the tag title match, I guess there's a lottery going on tonight with multiple tag teams. Basically, in a gauntlet match, this is too, by the way, to see who is gonna be the first ones in there and stuff. So that was gonna be the whole night. We saw the tag teams, picking out a lottery ball and whatnot. Braun Breaker came out then to talk about what happened last week with his dad, Rick Steiner, saying he's home and okay, but, he said nobody messed with my family, that his family is Hall of Famers now, whatnot, and he told Joe Gacy to come to the ring. Gacy basically was in front of a fire and talked about how he kidnapped Rick, and, he said Rick took his beating like a man and stuff, and basically, he took the Hall of Fame ring from him as a souvenir and whatnot. And basically, the ring is a picture of Breaker's family and stuff, and basically threw it into the fire then. So, yeah, he threw his ring into the fire. Okay. Not much I can say. And we're going to get to the fire thing, because, you go back later on tonight with him in the fire, and, he's talking about, about people that don't want to seek truth, or, they believe, I don't know, somebody said it was in one of these propaganda or, quote-unquote woke propaganda that people rather believe allegations of the truth. Oh, shit, see that a lot nowadays. But as he's cutting his promo and everything about that, basically he went back to talking about Breaker and everything, and that, he said that Breaker showed helplessness in the past 2 weeks and stuff, and basically Breaker not control his own life. And he's going to hang on to one thing, and basically took the ring out of the fire and put it on, which, by the way, you would probably suffer some type of second or third degree burns while putting it on. That kind of itch you've been leaving in the fire for a minute, so it would be very super hot to put back on, that you probably would burn, and it would kind of, I'm not saying set your fingers on fire, but it would burn you pretty severely and whatnot, especially how long it's been sitting in that fire for 35 minutes into the show after that first segment. So, well, what'd you think on that? Team Jacket was getting ready, I guess, in the back until Von Wagner basically killed both Kushida and Ike Manjiro and destroyed them. Wagner and Stone were back out there, basically saying that there will be no match with Jacket Time. Next, Jiro got out there and, he was limping, but he said he was going to kick Wagner's ass, which Wagner basically destroyed him out there. I don't know why he needed to win by distraction with Stone getting involved, given that Jiro was already hurt. So why did he really need a distraction win? That didn't make a lot of sense. Then next, they showed that girl again. I guess her name is Sophia Cromwell, and basically, she just told Wagner to attack Jiro again and just threw him into the fans, which they were all plants, by the way, but threw him into the crowd of planted fans. Next, Nikita Lyons was interviewed, talking about what happened with Lash Legend last week and how she beat her and stuff. But as she's talking about the match last week, Lash Legend basically attacked her and basically like a big boot and everything as they, agents and end up pulling her away. So I'm sure there's a lot of jokes that's going to be, battle of the tall thickness out there, so I'm sure there's a lot of nicknames that can be said about that. Mandy Rose went against Dakota Kai for the NXT Women's Championship. Honestly, this match was kind of I know it was going to be a lot of distractions, but then again, it's like this match was kind of rough at the same time, too. Just damn near a lot of botches out there. It just wasn't really that good of a match. It was kind of whatever. I figured Mandy Rose was going to win anyways. Distraction, and, Kai's got the belt, and then Mandy Rose hits her big knee, and that's the win. But then right after, Wendy Chu shows up and then just sprays Toxic Attraction with Super Soaker, water guns for some reason and walk away. Don't know why they all start flopping like fish out there due to just water and whatnot. Listen, I'm sure there's a lot of jokes I can make right now when it comes to, I guess, Toxic Attraction and water, and I'm sure everybody's going to have some type of fantasy joke to say out there or and whatnot. But, hey, I can come up with 1,000 of them. But, nah, I'll let y'all leave that to y'all imagination. But I can make a lot of those. So it's a lot of wet out there. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a lot of it. I'm sure people... Don't. It's quite funny though, so I'm sure there's a lot of people that can make a joke about that. Legado del Fantasma was preparing for tonight until Tony D'Angelo showed up. I guess talking to Santos Escobar, how he showed respect last week. We don't hope we don't come past negative, and he had a peace offering. I guess he had some cash and some envelope, but Escobar like, no, I don't need your money, man. Respect is worth more than a wad of cash. Where is this mafia battle really going? I have no idea where this mafia shit's going. So, boom, there you go. Cora Jade was out there to cut a promo talking about Mania Week was the most important weekend of her life, being Stand and Deliver. Her parents watching her wrestle live, being in the ring with 3 other talented women, and, she wanted to leave Stand and Deliver as champion, but she did not, and I guess you don't always get what you want, but she was close, and he said it's not going to be just some promo, just to redirect focus. Like, she wants this, title bash she won since she was a kid, and talk about she's busted her ass every day, and talk about the women she's idolized, from AJ Lee to Sasha to Natalya and Paige. Next thing you know, Natalya made her entrance, which she was very over here. Very good reaction, but then again, I have to remember sometimes it's the NXT crowd. Natalya even got a holy shit chant out there. I'm sure people wondering, why is she here and everything, but then again, they just put anybody on the main roster on NXT nowadays. Kind of makes you wonder why they never did that with the black and gold. But Cora Jade, though, was surprised to see Natalya, as, I guess both women fight back tears out there, and Jade just says, I'm such a fan, just being a big fan out there. Talked about how she got to WWE, and talked about how she saw her when she was 10 years old on an episode of SmackDown, and whatnot, how she just got here. And even Natalya says, I remember you in the crowd, okay, I remember you and where you are right now, and that she's proud of her, and that you have a passion for this business. And both women just shedding tears out there. And Natalya says, she's mentored and, trained and competes against some of the best in the WWE. And basically, she looks backstage and to see the future of this division. And with the future, she says, the future is bleak. Next thing you know, she slapped Cora Jade, put her in a sharpshooter. The fans cheered, by the way, so not really feeling Cora Jade like that all the way. So they cheered for her big time. And stuff, and as she was leaving, all the rest of the women's rosters looking on. Tatum Paxley basically said, basically, she wants to prove herself the Diamond Master. She wants to wrestle Natalya, and everything. And Natalya says, all right, challenge accepted. This whole division is on notice. So I guess they're going to keep Natalya in NXT for a while, because honestly, we already don't know what they're really doing on SmackDown. She was tagged with Shayna, but I guess they just decided to put her down to NXT. So, basically, I guess just to help the younger talent and just, probably guide them through matches and put them in some good matches. So, we'll see what happens with that. But not a bad segment, though, also. But, come on, you knew one of these women were going to turn on each other, and it had to be Natalya, so there you go. Zion Quinn went against Draco Anthony. Zion Quinn basically destroyed this guy, so don't have much to say about that. Indy and Persia were in the back, talking about Dexter and Duke Hudson, and I guess, they're going to go for the women's tag titles again. And then we got to the gauntlet match for the vacant NXT tag titles, which, MSK are not the tag team champions anymore, which I talked a little about this last week, but now we know that, Nash Carter has, I think I said it right? Nash Carter, or Wentz, I usually know him from Impact, but was fired last week, which, I think as a lot of everyone has said, I think the picture the whole Hitler mustache Nazi symbol thing really did him in, and not the allegations and stuff. To what I've seen out of it, basically a lot of people like they mostly on more of Nash Carter's side. I know his tag team partner's wife even came out and exposed Kimberly and stuff. Because yes, her story has changed multiple times. You went from supporting to not supporting, and supporting to not supporting, and she was handed like what divorce papers that Monday, and that he hasn't even been around her, and basically only went to one therapy session. But he just hasn't been around this woman in a while. Been living with his tag team partner, his wife, so he didn't want to be around that stuff. Even after he got fired, I thought it was kind of weird. She just went on to talk about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Then, you just cost this man his job. You know that, right? And then she ended up deleting her account now and stuff. I know Nash Carter hasn't really said anything out of all this. I'm sure his lawyers just telling him don't say nothing right now and wait till in court. It's unfortunate, probably cost his job because it looked like I said, Nash Carter's got a lot of support, and fans of, and even wrestlers say, justice for Nash Carter and stuff. Because then again, why keep a picture? Because the picture was taken when he was like 17, 19 years old, but it does not matter with WWE. I think WWE didn't really want to get involved in all this, so I guess they just let him go. Because, like I said, he's been away from her from a while now. And they said he's with Gigi Dolan. Shit, talk about a fucking upgrade. He upgraded big time. No, I'll give Nash Carter that. He upgraded Gigi Dolan. Psh, I gotta show respect about that. Gotta show some respect right there. But the whole situation, I'm sure most likely being solved in court, but judging what I've seen right now, I think Kimberly's story has changed a lot. I think a lot of people say something's very mentally wrong with her. I do believe Carter was kind of done dirty, though. I don't know what's going to happen with his tag team partner, because right now I'm sure a lot of people saying this guy is fucked. And I like Dez, okay? I've liked him for a while now. I've seen him since Impact, especially Jarrett. I think Jeff Jarrett always called him the next AJ Styles. So I don't know what's going to happen with him, but some would think the guy is kind of fucked right now. Your partner's gone, they took the belts away, and now they don't really know what's going to happen now. So it's a lot to say about the whole situation in general with the Nash Carter thing, but I don't know, some wonder who do you really believe her here, but it looks like more, I don't know, man. Kimberly's story just kind of seemed to change around and look like people more on Nash Carter's side, so I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But it's just a whole crazy situation in general. And even people now exposing Kimberly. So, tells you something. But this gauntlet match began with the Creed brothers and Legato. Creed brothers ended up winning the first round. They didn't win against Brooks and, Briggs and Jensen out there. Which they did put one of them through a table and stuff and whatnot. And everything. But it still ended up with the Creed brothers going over. Basically, the Creed brothers was going through everybody. They beat Waller and Sanga. I'm actually surprised they beat them. But they beat everybody, putting the faces over strong, trying to get them through the whole thing, fighting towards the end until they got to the Pretty Deadly team. I don't know much about Pretty Deadly. They're not bad, though. Some would say they dress like male strippers out there, but they're not a bad team, though. And their finisher was called Spilled Milk, but Pretty Deadly did end up winning the tag team titles, though. From the Creed brothers, of course, they showed the Creed brothers how they basically fought hard, basically damn near 30 minutes, going through 3 other teams before they got to the end, and they were beaten by the last team. So, obviously, the chase continues for them. As my co-host would say, as Scott Hall once said, if you're a babyface and you start winning, you're going to look dumb. And that's a lot with a lot of faces, so that tells you something right there. But yes, Pretty Deadly did walk away as the new NXT Tag Team Champions. But other than that, though, that is my review of NXT this week. Championship Tuesday, folks. So there you go, okay? But other than that, I'm out here. I also want to say, rest in peace to Gilbert Gottfried, man. Dude was hilarious. I've been mostly known for Iago, being in the Aladdin movie and cartoon and shit, fucking Kingdom Hearts and multiple other shows and whatnot. He's done a lot of voice acting and been in a lot of movies too. And whatnot, but I always liked his voice, and I thought it's hilarious. I remember from Dr. Bender, he was Dr. Bender from Fairly Odd Parents also. I was just a lot of characters I can name. He's been in probably a few movies too, but I always thought Gilbert Gottfried was funny, and I always noticed his voice, but I'm mostly known for being Iago in Aladdin though. So I was, the parrot, always with Jafar, so I always thought that was funny. So I just wanted to say something about that at the end. But other than that, though, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys then. Peace out.